table. Yeah, we got to get better mics. We tried to do the from the road. The sound wasn't that great. Please apologize for the sound quality. We want better mics next time.
Yeah, but we here.
We go on the road. But now we're back.
Baby girl, let me see you dance. Let me see you twirl.
Representing for the reprehensible Canadian light skin.
I mean, I am, in my opinion, I am the reprehensible Canadian light skin.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
I
don't think anybody's actually worse than me.
You, Drake, and Dylan Roof are having a like.
Dylan Brooks?
Oh, Dylan.
Yeah.
Dylan Roof is crazy.
Dylan Roof. Fuck.
Wow.
Dylan Roof. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I shouldn't laugh. Yo, yeah. It's like he did mess up Dylan's.
He did.
Like,
yeah.
are you gonna name your child Dylan now? Like,
Never,
probably
man.
not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if there's still children called Adolf.
Is there?
Yes.
Wait, there's children being born in 2025 with the name Adolf.
Maybe not 2025, but there's definitely Adolfs running around post Hitler.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't know
probably
if I
a
can
bad
say
decision.
this.
What?
Maybe not. If not, just cut it out. But we once jumped a kid named Dylan in elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because his name was Dylan?
No, because he was just an asshole.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you know, yeah.
I mean, probably had it coming.
Yeah.
Probably now the new name, like nobody wants is Elon.
Oh no.
Like
facts.
who's naming a child? He don't even want his children.
I'm about to
named
say
Elon.
that he
You know
got
what I'm saying?
he named his kids like HP like website addresses and shit, man.
It's like the
Niggas was born with screen names.
well, since we're back at the table, to my immediate right,
I believe in miracles.
yes,
I believe in miracles.
We gotta pronounce her name correctly.
Oh god.
what's her name?
Miracle.
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 It's Miracle in the building.
That would be hilarious if somebody was like Miracle. She was like, no, actually, I pronounce it Miracle.
Miracly? Or Miracly? Miracles? That's a group of miracles. It's a Miracles.
That's her book in the Bible.
Out and about last week, and somebody was like, you know, I know Jacerai, and I was like, who? It took me a second, and I was like,
No.
I was like, who are they talking about? And I was like, oh. And then you have to do that Southern thing where you just like, oh, you mean Jasiri? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jasiri's my boss. Yes, I know him. Jasiri. Yes.
Yes.
But anyways, it's your girl, Miracle.
Let's say it right.
Miracle.
Miracle.
See, first don't start. See, there you go. Always want to tell somebody what to do and how to pronounce. AKA Big Blessing with the Big Blessings.
Yes.
Here on this April Fool's Day, where there are
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I got caught up earlier today. Cam, did you see what Cam posted on IG?
No.
It said that Adam Silver's gonna do a 4-point line. And and that's how I was like, oh, it's April Fool's Day.
Oh, okay,
Got
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm over it. There is
Yeah,
just April and too many fools for there to be actual April Fool's Day.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Too many fools might have a title. Yes.
Facts. It's your boy Treble in the Less, aka Trebly. Never like Supremacy Next Level Shaman.
Treble A, like if you put the like
Treble
thing
A.
at the end of the E, what's the little thing?
Accent mark.
Yeah, the little accent mark. Yeah. Treble A.
Triple.
Treble A. I like that.
Triple A, yeah.
Sir.
My name's Said.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure people call you said.
I said.
Yeah. Farouk, I said. AI said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Al said is what I get all the time.
Al said. Yes.
The worst. I would say the best next to your name is Bush all the time. I don't think I can compete with Eminem Aquavelva, but I have been called.
Wow.
I have been called, and I quote, Farquaad Al said.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, Lord Farquaad.
Farquaad Al said is one of the best. Yeah. I might actually just go change my name to Farquaad Al said.
That is pretty.
Yeah, I think I might have a better
Is
time.
Farquaad an actual character?
Yeah, from Shrek, Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
I've gotten Farrakhan.
I don't know how.
Me neither, but you know.
don't have enough letters.
I don't have enough.
But again, as somebody whose name got butchered, all Jazzariah, I've heard it all. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
I like sounded out.
Yes.
Yeah, please. Just like, you know, we all grew up with like context clues and conjugating verbs.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Sound that shit out.
So you know, when you know, like, we talked about reprehensible, like delusional. We talked about like men being delusional.
Yeah. They sipping that Delulu lemonade.
I've never heard that.
I just made that up on the spot. Yeah. Baby girl.
Stop. It's like
it's wild because Donald Trump is saying that he wants a third term.
But does a third term want him? That's the question.
And he's not, but he's saying it's like, and he's saying he's not joking, but he's saying it while he's like in the midst of a first few month free fall like we've never seen. It's like the guy who's like, you're on the last place NBA team and you're like demanding like the max deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so
that's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
His term is going so badly. People are discussing top secret stuff in the Signal chat, right?
He said it's boring. We got to allow that, bro.
Oh, we accidentally sent a innocent man to El Salvador.
Oops.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Our bad, right? Oh, eggs are still high. The stock market is crashing.
We have a solution to high eggs.
Did you see that they're like asking other countries for eggs?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like
They said more eggs have come across the border than fentanyl.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they said more illegal eggs have been seized than fentanyl, and that's fucking crazy.
What a time.
So wait, this is a real story.
This is real.
This isn't April Fool's.
No, this is not. The DOJ has said that they have confiscated more eggs coming across the Canadian border than fentanyl.
And you're not supposed to bring food across the border, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to make sure you don't have like, parasites or different things.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Food.
I understand that, but like there was supposedly like a call out where they were like calling other countries and saying, could you please send us a surplus of eggs?
Turkey's
because
supposed to
of
be
egg prices being so high.
sending us eggs like in June or July, right? Like these countries are agreeing to send eggs over because of the fact that, we kind of disabled the people who are supposed to be inspecting our farms and making sure like bird
How'd they
flu
do that,
and
Miracle?
swine flu.
Did they get fired?
That's what you do. You fire people. You put people in there. Doge is just like,
So
why do you need clean air and clean water?
Yes.
Fired.
Yeah.
This job is
kill all that.
So
this job
Doja
is
Cat went into the hen house and fired all the
Again,
Doja
it's just
Cat.
it is weird though to me. Like a Newsweek poll showed that Trump's approval rating has fallen to a new low.
What is it? What's the numbers right now?
It says 60% of people believe Trump is doing a terrible job as president. 60%.
So he has a 40%.
He has a 6 out of 10 people say he's doing terrible.
Jesus Christ.
4 out of 10 people are saying, I mean, think about it. Like he's, people that voted for Trump are being fired left and right.
Yeah.
You just had the guy come out who voted for Trump and Trump sent his wife to the gulag, you know what I'm saying? To El Salvador. Then you just had like another guy who was just like,
Oh, he's at the gulag.
you had another guy that voted for Trump that was just driving down the street as a Latino, right? And he had guns pulled on him. He's telling them like, yo, I'm an American citizen. Can I show you my ID? They cuffed him. Like, so again, like all this is happening while prices are going higher. He's announcing these new tariffs that are supposed to drive prices up even higher. I'm kind of glad I got my car already.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, really.
So all of these things are happening, and he's saying
The gulag.
again. He said that a lot of people, this is quote, want him to serve a third term.
The 4? 4 up to 10?
A lot of people want me to do it, but my thinking is we have a long way to go. Miracle. Is there any type of legal possibility? I guess one of the things that people were saying was that he would run as vice president under J.D. Vance will run as president, Trump will run as vice president.
His ego wouldn't allow him to do
And
that.
then, well, the thinking was then if J.D. Vance wins, he would immediately step down and then allow Trump to become president. Is there any legal way?
That is like big cuck energy.
From couch to cuck.
That's the title. John doesn't say.
It's definitely big cuck energy. I mean, that's cool. But I mean, look, hey, bro, if you said, think of if you said big cuck energy, what's the first person that comes to your mind? It would be JD Vance.
They call
It would absolutely.
Wait, did you see that? They call him the jizz dumpster.
Okay, so
Shit. Wow.
Wait, no.
ordinarily,
I did not hear that.
the law would stop someone for running a third term. But obviously, we're in this time where a judge can sit there and say what you're doing is illegal and unconstitutional and have no enforcement mechanism.
Right, because couldn't he, again, like.
He at this point can do whatever he wants.
Right, because he
The
could
Supreme
actually
Court-
suspend the election if he wanted to and say, yo, America is into.
It's mine now.
And again, it's like he's like destroying all of these systems in our face. Like he's in our face destroying.
Destroying systems. Nobody's doing anything about it. We are in the bad place. This man can literally do whatever he wants. I hate y'all so much.
Why do you hate me? He's the one. He's the one.
Y'all co-sign each other. It is the both of you. It is the both of you.
So are you saying, Miracle, like obviously the Constitution limits.
There is no constitution right now. Literally,
Right, 'cause-
the Trump is doing whatever he wants, rewriting the Constitution, and nobody is really doing anything about it because no one really has the kahunas to go against Trump. Because at the end of the day, my opinion, all of these people in power
You said they don't have the huevos?
like what Trump is doing. All these people who are obeying in advance, they really did not want black and brown people. They did not want to be around Muslim people. They did not want to be around trans people. And until Trump actually does something that is against their interest, he's going to keep pushing and keep mobilizing and keep doing whatever he wants to do. No, you cannot run for 3 terms, right? FDR was a rare situation that happened during times of war and crisis and a recession, and technically did not serve 3 full terms, even though he didn't serve.
No, I'm trying not to look over this. I'm trying not to look.
It's the both of you. It is the both of
Because
you.
he's still laughing.
It is
so I'm
the
trying
both
to
of
focus
you.
on you.
You know, it's
Okay,
whatever.
so I have a question before I open it up to Trouble and Farouk, Miracle. It says the 22nd Amendment, and this is from Rolling Stone, mentions only that someone cannot be elected more than twice to the office of presidency. What if Trump is JD Vance's vice president on the 2028 ticket and then Vance resigns? Or if Trump is elected Speaker of the House in 2029, a position that does not need to be filled by an actual member of the House, and becomes second in line for the presidency, and then both the president and vice president resign? Scenarios like this have received the attention of the scholars of the 22nd Amendment. So again,
I mean, what if we change our bylaws so I can get my BBL on the work card? Like, a lot of stuff is happening. What if at the end of the day,
on the work card, right?
It says elected. He can stay. He can refuse to leave.
True.
That's the issue. He
Yes.
can say he's appointed himself. There are all types of ways. Again, the Supreme Court said that he can break the law and no one can hold him accountable.
They did say that.
Right? So the Supreme Court folks that he put on that the Republicans put on that bench basically gave him carte blanche to kind of do whatever he wants.
True. Trouble, a Trump third term. How do you see it?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that could happen. I also don't think that's something that people want to happen as much as he thinks.
Not now. I mean, not with all of this. I saw a video where it was like Republicans who voted for Trump talking, and they were like, we thought he would actually go in and get things done. We didn't think he would just start firing everybody, turning everything over to Elon Musk. Mm-hmm. You know, it does look like a lot of his policies are super unpopular. Is that what you're feeling?
Yeah, and I feel like he's starting to, create what used to be followers and supporters of Trump turning into like critical of Trump.
Yes.
Right. And I also feel like what we're witnessing right now. So there's an influencer on social media named Xavier Rami. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He said what Trump is doing is what's called a war of attrition. He's trying to like do all of these things to tire you out.
Yes.
Make you feel like there's no hope, make you like kind of lose fuel in your fight and essentially trying to outlast anyone organizing against him.
Right.
And I feel like if we become aware of this tactic and realize that all he's trying to do is tire us out, eventually people are going to be like, no, we're sick of this. We're not going to just sit around and do nothing. I feel like organizing within the next few years is just going to come back stronger.
Yeah.
And, more fierceful, more grounded and all of that.
But like you said, at the end of the day, to Miracle's point, he's there now, and he's been given the surprise. I don't see a world where Trump just bows out gracefully.
No, that's
like he is not that type of person. He's the opposite. I see a world where Trump is like, if I can't have this, nobody can.
Yeah.
And we're literally like trying to destroy any remnants or ramifications. It's wild because like I have this like Trump is not only like destroying the Republican Party. It seems like Trump is also like destroying the like historic two-party system of the Republicans and the Democrats. Like Trump is doing so bad and so crazy that obviously the Republicans are falling, but the Democrats, because they're so weak in their response, are also collapsing too. And it's causing, I feel like people of like our generation and younger, they're looking and saying like, it's gotta be more than just these two parties. Farouk?
Real shit.
We are at the precipice of like this Orwellian future.
Yes.
And the dystopian science fiction and political commentary films have finally come to life.
Yes.
You have someone now who is torpedoing democracy as you know it before your very eyes.
Yes.
And here we are making jokes about it.
Yes.
It's interesting because I've said before, I think like maybe Trump is like this Trojan horse. Maybe this is the calm before the storm. Maybe Trump is supposed to be a reckoning for the American political system. Maybe he,
Definitely. I mean, he definitely is.
Yeah, maybe he's, the chance for America to finally step back and take that long, hard look in the mirror and say, okay, this two-party system or whatever we have wasn't working the last
Is that
200
the kind
plus
of
years.
America that we have, though? Do we have the...
No. But I mean, stranger things have happened.
Is America the kind of woman that
What
will look
if-
in the mirror? Or man.
Excuse me.
I said, or man.
Okay.
He did.
Why is that be a woman first?
Baby girl.
Lady Liberty, I guess maybe, I don't know.
Always trying to blame a woman. We're talking about men fucking up. This guy bringing women into this. Okay.
The question I have that honestly has been floating in my head.
Yes.
What if Trump is the Dajjal?
What does that mean, sir?
At the head of Christ.
Well, again, I
Would
mean,
that be crazy?
He can't be the Antichrist because we don't have no peace. Okay, we have not had a period of peace.
Okay, break it down.
Miracle of famine. Yeah, you're right. I'm just like wondering,
Break it down
like,
from the
what if,
book of Miracles.
yeah, man,
Break it down for us.
what if he brings about, like, what if he actually
Well,
ends racism and brings about some type of sustainability?
No, this is the thing, Farouk, because like if he doesn't leave, and again, like I don't see a world.
I don't say. Well, that's why I said it's an Orwellian
bows
future.
out,
It's like
right?
it's like Alan Moore and Watchmen.
What I'm saying is, if he doesn't leave,
Right.
there is this possibility that like he like rallies America against him.
Yeah.
Like, it's already kind of starting.
And I had said this a few episodes ago, where he's already effectively united the globe against him.
Yes,
Right?
But
And that it's-
hey, bro, today it came out. They said like China, Japan, and South Korea.
China.
Now, understand,
they're in lockstep now.
together.
How much do you have to fuck up to get Japan next to China?
Yes, and
Like,
South Korea.
This is the Crips and Bloods of the world.
Yes. Particularly if you look at the history, but they all came together to respond to the tariffs that Trump was putting on all these countries. So you're right, like Canada's no longer. So you're right in a sense of Trump has effectively united the world against the United States.
Yeah.
And then, will a scenario happen where he unites the America against him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're only 2 months in, 3 months in.
Yeah, it's not even a full. Yeah,
And it's dropping. These tariffs are supposed to hit tomorrow. Supposedly, prices are going to go up. I guess they said Trump called the auto manufacturers and said, don't raise prices. he
It's like
denied
you
that.
putting them in a position where they ain't got no choice.
He denied that, and he said,
I bet you the prices of couches stay the same.
Wow. Okay.
I bet you couches get real affordable. This motherfucker.
it's like, you know how it used to be like when you like the Victoria's Secret, like
JD Vance got a JCPenney
magazine.
catalog right now and a bottle of lube. JD Vance got all Diddy's leftover lube.
I was thinking that.
Oh my god!
Wow.
They donated to JD Vance.
So Miracle, would you see that? I mean, again, there's supposed to be protests this weekend, right? Like a hands-off protest that's happening. These protests are getting larger. They're growing. Do we see a possibility where Trump actually like unites? He's so bad and so terrible that he unites America against himself. Could that be the possibility?
What if he said that was my plan all along? Like his ego would be like, "Yo, this is my plan. I united America."
I don't know, man. I don't even know if he physically makes it. Miracle?
I do foresee a future where people would rise up against him once these tariffs hit.
Yes.
Right? Because he ran on improving the economy. The economy is the cost of living is the number one issue, table kitchen issue, whatever you want to call it, across the United States of America. So yes, when people are starting to see the fact that all these people got fired, right?
Yeah.
You shrunk the federal government. You allegedly deported all of these folks. You renditioned all of these folks. And now I'm still, not only now do I not have eggs, I don't have eggs, I don't have milk, I don't have lights, I don't have gas, I don't have cars. Like, and then on
But you
top
got a
of
couch,
that,
don't
wait, on top of that, hold on. Breathe. On top of that, you don't have a social security net because you
Right.
have nobody at
Yeah.
these agencies
Social
willing to
Security gone.
sign to help you and support you. You're going to be SOL.
Yeah, the
So
guy
I do-
said if you call to check on your social security check, you're a fraudster. What? If I don't get my money that I need to pay my bills?
Should have pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, nigga.
run it up. And again, people forget during Biden, that man took his little plane and crashed into the IRS. These conservatives,
He did.
right? These conservatives are about it. Like they will unalive something and poo something if they don't get their way. So I do foresee them turning on him. My fear is because of like the JFK scandal, the blackmail scandal that was happening, all this type of stuff, that they're going to target specific communities and say like, oh, it's because of this community that Trump failed us. And I do worry about vulnerable communities being targeted. But yeah, I do foresee a future in which people finally rise up against the tyrant. Like America loves a revolution. Okay, let's be very honest.
True,
They've had
very
quite a
true.
few. They've had
We
quite a
love
few.
to protest. Like,
Yes.
obviously, it's not like France, right?
No.
France
Yeah.
can do stuff right. We just love the chaos of protest.
Yes.
And I do think going against Trump is like, people are going to try to take him out.
Yes.
Not like violently. People are going to try to combat him and other folks. And you're starting to see this, with Connor Lamb. 4 years ago, Connor Lamb was not doing spicy tweets and talking about fighting for people right now.
True.
Like now people are like, okay, it's gloves off. We really have to be resisting and organizing and doing the work. So I do see more moderates, more conservatives actually getting out here and doing work. And, hopefully we'll have a better world. And then the Antichrist comes. according to the Bible.
Again, speaking of that and speaking of resistance, I think Cory Booker just finished speaking. Cory Booker started last night. I think he spoke for 15 straight hours. And basically what he did was he got in on the mic at the Senate and said he would speak until he could no longer physically speak to protest Donald Trump. A lot of people rallied around him.
So he just did like a one-man filibuster?
He did a one-man,
crazy.
15-hour filibuster. Now,
It gotta be a Guinness Book of
now
World Record.
Senator Duckworth is speaking. I don't know if she's going to do the same thing.
They not like us.
This was one of those.
No one?
Finally, listen.
No one?
This is one of those.
Not even trouble?
I didn't even hear what you said.
It's such a deep cut. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut. Miracle, you suggested this. You suggested
See?
Democrats
Do
shut
something.
down the Senate, do something, make a stand, cause the stand.
Here we go. Yes.
Cory Booker did this. One, how do you feel about it? Two, do you think this will lead to more, strong responses from the Democratic Party?
I think it's a start, right? They really have to get things together. They really have to enact the filibuster. When they really have to agree to a vote as a voting bloc to not pass legislation when 60 votes are needed. So yes, this is a great stand. I love me a good stunt. Yeah, so I appreciate it, but I also want people to get, their votes together. We have horrible legislation such as the SAVE Act that threatens to change the ways we're able to even approach and engage elections, that changes the way we're able to get identification, that creates a totally different process of how we're able to identify ourselves.
Right.
So while I really appreciate Cory getting the ball rolling, I need the Democrats to get together. I need the moderate Republicans to get their act together and really start to address issues of concern like housing and healthcare, and not these targeted pieces of legislation that are meant to disenfranchise women and target immigrants and expel Muslims and Arabs from the country. So
I did, since you called up the SAFE Act, just in case everybody does not know what that is, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, which will require Americans seeking to register or re-register the vote to prove U.S. citizenship. They're saying this could disenfranchise millions of voters. Specifically, they were saying that one of the requirements would be that your name on your birth certificate has to be the same name you're registering with. So they were saying millions of women that got married, and legally changed your name. If you got married and legally changed your name, then that would disenfranchise you. But obviously the Republicans don't want women to vote. I mean, that's their whole thing is like women need to go cook, right? And raise these babies and stop trying to be all in the workplace. So that would be their piece. So that's a possible legislation. And shout out to Cory Booker. And they said 16 hours is what he spoke for. They said today he had 40,000 people watching him. So it was this moment of at least somebody stood up to Donald Trump. I mean, I think that's what we want to see. The Teen Vogue put an article out that said Chuck Schumer is pushing young people away from the Democratic Party with this toothless leadership. So again, it's like when you see Chuck Schumer and you see Hakeem Jeffries, to me, it's like you see two very weak, spineless looking individuals. They look like they don't want it. You know what I'm saying? How you there was a song that said, scared to death, you scared to look, you shook. Because ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. And it's almost like they look like, you look in Schumer and Jeffrey's eyes and they look like they don't want it. They don't want to fight. They don't want to try to challenge what's happening. So to see.
Because why would they? Really and truly, why would they?
Because that would mean maybe their party got some power. I don't know. I mean, they should.
The weaker their party looks, the better they look, because they get to be the de facto voices. It's like everything always comes back to them. It's like, Hakeem Jeffries is always talking. Chuck Schumer is always talking. These are the decision makers.
Yeah, but right now people are talking about Chuck Schumer being primary. People want AOC. I mean, Schumer is talking about we got to work with Republicans. We're working out together. Meanwhile,
because that's
AOC,
his security. That's him talking for his security.
But meanwhile, AOC and Bernie are holding 50,000 people rallies. Yeah. Cory Booker speaking for 16 hours. So they look like, yo, you got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like people don't want them to lead. So I get what you're saying. These tax cuts, whatever, they don't hurt them. These are multimillionaires. Right? And they are currently in power. Clearly they don't want a more progressive Democratic Party.
Because then that removes them from power.
Right. Which is why I said, I think that what Trump is actually doing is not only just destroying the Republican Party, he's also destroying the Democrat Party. There was a move where in Louisiana, they tried to change the Constitution with like 4 amendments.
Yeah.
And the senator or the person from, I think the governor or senator from Louisiana was actually caught on a live mic saying, we're hoping for a low voter turnout.
Yeah.
So we can pass these. And guess what they got? They got a higher voter turnout, probably because of Elon and Trump.
Right.
And all 4 amendments got defeated, like with no question. So it's almost like it is having the opposite effect. I'm coming to you, Miracle, because Gavin Newsom, this is like, it was a thing about Donald Trump. It said Donald Trump mentioned Joe Biden's name like 300 something times during his first 50 days. And I was kind of like, who said Joe Biden more, Donald Trump or Miracle? But Miracle loves to kick in the backs of the Democratic Party. Again, Gavin Newsom, current governor of California, and he's got a new podcast now, but he said the Democratic Party is a toxic brand. Do you agree, disagree?
It's nothing like a well-coughed white man who is never impacted by policies to sit there and say that the Democratic brand is toxic because it makes you care about people. At the end of the day, the Democratic Big Tent was predicated upon this idea that we are in community with each other.
Yes.
And we have to love and support each other and make sure people are housed, fed, and clothed with dignity and respect. At some point down the line, we decided, we would forego that brand because we want to send bombs to kill people abroad. And you can't really support a brand that's based on like violence and chaos and death, right? Obama was the deporter in chief.
Yes.
Obama was the person who started using drones as warfare and mercilessly slaughtered thousands of people abroad, right? And so you had to have this tension of like, what are we doing domestically versus what are we doing across the borders? And then we got Don't Boo Vote.
Yes.
And then we got, Black Lives Matter rising up. And then we got police repression and millions of dollars into policing and response. And we started to see that the issues that we were fighting for were not being addressed. It was just used to prop up more state government and more state repression and more state surveillance. And so here we are.
Yeah.
Right. And so the Democratic brand is not toxic because it has pronouns. The Democratic brand is toxic because when we said stop killing Black people, you gave us murals and millions of dollars in police budget. The Democrat brand is not toxic because we said women and people who are birthing deserve health care. The Democratic brand is toxic because we said we're not going to fight for a single payer and Medicare for all. And if you don't get, if you got to go into debts, if you got to go into foreclosure because you want, cancer and afford insulin, like that's on you. Too bad. So sad. That is the reality of where we are right now. The Democrats we elected betrayed us. They betrayed our values and they went into bed with corporations, the same corporations that were poisoning us and killing us. And instead of saying, you know what, oops, our bad, you have this man who goes on right podcast who puts on his jeans and his best workwear t-shirt to throw away displaced people's tents and belongings and then wants to sit there and be like, oh, the Democratic brand's so toxic because they see I'm a soulless ghoul and nobody wants to vote for me. Just so irritating. Like, sir, stop it.
I have some quotes and I'm gonna pass this to Trouble and Fruit. Here are some quotes, and this was Gavin Newsom on Bill Maher's show, another horrible human being. Yeah. Bill Maher is one of the worst. He said, quote, this idea that we can't even have a conversation with the other side, you have to, they won, was one of the, and it's just so funny because like when Democrats win, the Republicans go into full shutdown mode, and that's never, obviously it worked for them. He says, this is an existential moment. This is a fascinating quote. Our unity against Trump is not increasing our trust. It's not helping the Democratic brand. What do y'all think? Another shook one?
Yeah, I wonder what his definition of the Democratic brand is.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I could tell you what Gavin Newsom and Hakeem Jeffries and all these people on the so-called left have in common. They're all bureaucratic capitalists that aren't typically upset at the idea of women voting. That's really what it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Do you have any comment on that quote, Miracle? We need to own our own mistakes. We need to own what's wrong with our party. Our unity against Trump is not increasing our trust.
It's not.
What?
That's such a whack quote.
We need to own our mistakes. And
Who's we? Who's
hold on.
we, nigga?
Let me cook a little bit.
Go ahead, Morocco.
We need to own our mistakes, but where is this white man sitting down with the Muslim and Palestinian community? We need to own our mistakes, but where is this straight white man sitting down with trans organizers and activists?
He's sitting down with like the far right, Steve Bannon's of the world.
We need to own our mistakes. So where is he sitting down with the black people who've been kicked out of San Francisco? We need to own our mistakes. So where is he sitting down with the people who are working 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 jobs because they cannot afford to live within the districts that he governs? The man needs to own his own mistakes. He needs to sit down with his own communities that he has forgotten and betrayed. I need to figure out where he went wrong before he starts to talk about why people have an issue with not wanting to talk to Republicans who are passing legislation that is literally going to disenfranchise and kill folks.
No, I think one of the mistakes that the Democrats made was not being forthright about their support for Trump. I think they're doing right now is going according to plan.
Right.
I don't think that they think they're making any real mistakes with how quiet they've been about all the egregious things that Trump is doing. I think they just forgot to be honest about where they stand.
Well,
I said this.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I said this before. I'm sure a lot of them actually voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think like I don't know if you're Gavin Newsom because you're in California, but
Yeah.
I do think that Gavin Newsom probably wanted Kamala Harris to lose.
Yeah.
Because if Kamala Harris wins, then there's a possibility that she has 2 terms as a president.
Right.
And then he would have to wait 8 years to run for president. Like, he clearly is somebody that wants to run for president.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's trying to position himself as the, like, oh, I'm the reasonable Democrat, right? I'm the Democrat
Moderate
guy.
Democrat.
Right.
And that was almost Kamala's platform. I'm the moderate Democrat.
True. You know what I'm saying? But, we've talked about Kamala's mistakes over and over again, but like, he's trying to position himself as even more center than Kamala.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me sit down and talk with these clearly racist, right-wing individuals that don't respect black people, don't respect brown people, don't respect queer people. Let me give them a platform. And then when he talks to Tim Walz, it's like, what the hell is wrong with our party? So he wants to be seen as like this Democrat that's going to bring like, the white man and the working class white person back into the Democratic Party to position himself to run for president as some kind of uniter. This is the mistake that Democrats make over and over again. It's like, again, Republicans get in and they're like, we're going to do policies that benefit Republicans and the people that gave us money. They're saying right now with the tariffs, what Trump is doing is he's talking to his donors and he's saying, I'm going to make sure the tariffs don't affect y'all.
Yeah.
Because y'all gave me big money. So whatever, like, this is what Republicans, and they're very straight up about it. I mean, you have Elon Musk in Wisconsin giving people millions of dollars to vote for Republicans. Like, not even a joke. Like, and then, when I guess they sued him and Wisconsin said,
isn't that a federal law breaking?
Wisconsin said, like, I guess they said it's not against the law. And so people are like, okay, well, wait a second. You're saying it's not against the law to give millions of dollars to voters in Wisconsin to vote Republican, but it's against the law to give black people standing in line in Georgia water? We can't get water, but they can get millions of dollars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so again, and it's funny because I guess Elon was like, oh, the person here heckling me is a Soros plant. But you're like, all the things you said Soros was doing, you're openly doing.
Yes.
You're trying to buy an election. You're buying votes. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think somebody like Gavin Newsom, he wants Elon Musk on his side.
It's cool when they do it.
Yeah.
It's a problem when I do
Oh,
it.
yeah, of course. But he wants these you know, there's this conversation that these Democrats are having, Hakeem Jeffries, Schumer, people like Gavin Newsom, where they want these tech bros on their side.
They do.
They want this money on their side. And so like what Miracle said, they're not, so in order to have those tech bros and the Elons and all this money on their side, they have to disenfranchise black voters. Yeah. They have to disenfranchise brown people. They have to throw trans folks under the bus, right? Because these, you know, tech bros and crypto bros and all those people, they want this world where white men could just be as racist and and can sexually assault everybody like they used to.
Yeah. Like they used to.
Again,
the good old days.
Yeah. Speaking of, you know, the good old days or the good bad days for us.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, again, wants to shut down the Black Museum at the Smithsonian. If you haven't seen it, the National Museum of African American History and Culture was singled out by Donald Trump as having a quote anti-American ideology. You know what? You know, let me just come here, y'all. Let's say your ancestors were just in Africa doing their own thing, like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like having fun, black culture, joy, whatever we were doing. And somebody came over there and captured you and enslaved you and dehumanized you for 400 years. Would you be happy about that?
Not at all.
Would that be a great way to start our American experience? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the idea that like to talk about real American history now is anti-American is insane to me, but here we are.
I think the thing that he's attacking is the criticism of slavery in America.
Yes.
I saw someone online say America cannot run without slave labor.
100%.
Even still to this day.
Yes.
With, you know, the prison industrial complex.
You talked about Florida. What did you say?
Oh yeah, Florida is rolling back their
child labor law.
Yep. Yes, indeed, making it so that 14 and 15-year-olds can work after 11:30 p.m., can work before 6:30 a.m.
Fuck school, right?
Do overnight shifts.
We need your labor.
A break. You know what I'm saying?
Let me. This is what I want. Since talking about things being repealed and rolled back and
Yes.
attacks on black people.
Yes.
Have this for Miracle.
Okay.
I've mentioned this brother on the show a few times, and I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
We was locked up together.
Okay.
And he's a black conservative. Hardcore Trumper. He said this. Stop with the fear tactics. What Trump did will not make segregated washrooms and water fountains come back. The Civil Rights Act is still law of the land, and segregated facilities are illegal. The media is making this again. It's about blacks. It's not about us. Trump is doing this to remove the trans shit due to Obama inserting that in there. So basically, contractors would have to provide or allow men and women's restrooms if they identify as a woman. It's so funny how every time something is done about another group, they make it about us and bring up the 1960s photos. Y'all got to read, man.
Did the executive order say that it was only limited to trans people?
Absolutely not.
Very, very simple. When they sit there and say that black men are going to possibly be dishonorably discharged from the military because they're no longer going to be able to get a medical waiver that requires them to not have to shave their beard because they're getting ingrown hairs
Keloids
and all of that, is that not targeted at black people? When they sit there and say that you cannot talk about your history and you cannot talk about black issues and black culture because it may be un-American, because it may make white people feel bad,
Yes.
is that not targeting black people? When you sit there and say that you are not going to account for race and discriminatory practices as you're making these policies, so whoopsie daisy, you're discriminating against black people, but we no longer are going to collect the data so you can prove we're discriminating against black people. Does that not target black people?
Right.
when they sit there and saying that you do not have due process and you can be falsely accused of crimes, has that not always impacted Black people? This idea that Black people are thinking that this is the one time we are going to be saved because Trump is focused on trans folks and immigrants. Are there not Black trans people? Are there not Black immigrants?
Right.
Are there not Black Muslims?
Yes.
And at what point in this nation's history have we ever created a policy that was harmful to people that Black people were not ensnared in? So it makes absolutely no sense to have this cognitive dissonance to sit there and say that these policies will not impact us when you have people who are Christian white nationalists running the show. They are Christian white nationalists because they don't want your Black ass in this country. And that is why they are white nationalists. They are laying the foundation to expel Black people. What do they say? Oh, we want to get rid of immigrants because they're committing crime. Who do they always like to say next is the number one crime creator
Come on,
in the United States of America? Then they like to say, oh, well, there's too many Black people in the United States for them to expel. Did they not say there were millions of undocumented people?
Yep.
And did Rubio not say that the El Salvadorian contract also said that they would host American citizens in this prison?
Yep.
So why in the world would any Black person think that these policies are not coming for them?
How about this, Miracle? This order that Trump signed, right? It's called Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History.
Wait, that's the order?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
This order says Congress should not fund Smithsonian exhibits and programs that, quote, divide Americans by race. It says it in the order. By race.
They don't fund the school so that when they see race, they know he meant gender, right? They know he meant sex. The race was just accidentally there. It was a typo.
It's bewildering to me that people that have cognitive abilities suddenly find themselves invoking Obama's name once again
As a slur,
right? And championing him as the leader of race baiting, as if we've never had racial issues in this country before. And how quaintly and convincingly they've proven to themselves that we were in a post-racial society prior to Obama. And we have now all of these federal repeals and attacks on Black lives. And this is not a Black Lives Matter call. It's a fact that you as a Black person, you as a Black conservative, you as someone who identifies yourself with the right, cool, that's your preference, whatever, can't see the trees from the forest, the fact that you are doing all of their work for them and you are erasing yourself from an America you voted for.
It's like that gay guy. Remember the Black gay guy was like, oh my God, I went to this Republican thing and they called me the
They called me the F-word. Like what, like you think that you're so exceptional.
Yeah.
The fact that you want to stop saying nigga, okay, that's fine. Like, it's corny, but you know, you want to support Candace Owens. Okay, fine, it's corny. You want to support that other light skin or the brown skin nigga on TikTok that always be hating on Black people. All right, whatever. That's what you want to do. Cool.
Yeah. You want to pour your face in Saratoga. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
right.
I don't know what that dude's
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know. We're not going to throw him under the bus because I don't know. But where does that leave
Something's
you?
wrong, though.
Where does that leave your Black children? Where does that leave your family members
But it's that-
in this America?
Right. But it's that thing, and I don't come to you, America. It's that thing of like, as long as this punishment doesn't hurt me.
But it will, and it's going to.
That's what
The
happened.
thing is, you're just too fucking
Right.
stupid to realize
Right.
it.
That's what happened to like the Latino guy that got pulled over that voted for Trump. He thought he was immune to that. Then when he gets guns pulled on him, when he gets handcuffed, he's like, oh, I thought Trump was going to go after those immigrants. I didn't know it included me. So unfortunately, like these type of people, the harm has to hit them in the, somebody white has to punch him dead in his face.
But the thing is, it's like, yo, that's not even going to stop, because I guarantee you're in space with people that call you the N-word or do some types of things.
If he gets fired from his job or he loses something and they say, oh yeah, no, we don't have to, again, like they're changing the real estate rules.
Yeah.
Where the landlord can actually come out and say, I don't want to rent to a black person.
Right.
So now if he lost his house and because the landlord said that, now he would be like, oh, I thought it was just gender. I thought I was, again, you're fine if other people get punished. And that's the crux of what Miracle is saying.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like,
as long as it's not me.
Either we stand for everybody or we don't. It was this white guy that went into this, it was like some type of political, where they're like the city council was there and he starts talking about, he was like, oh yeah, we can just have joy. Don't worry about the hundreds of thousands of dead children.
Yeah.
Y'all don't care about them anyway because they're not white.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody was groaning, but that's really the real reason.
Yeah.
Like, it's like punishment is cool as long as it's not me. If it's you get bombed or your children or your family, now you want compassion and you want empathy, but you're not giving it to the children and the families that we're seeing getting bombed in Gaza right now.
Right.
So that's the piece, man. It's like, as long as the punishment is for them and not me, that's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about these other people. As long as it's for them and not me, I'm cool. Miracle?
Also,
by the way, before you finish, Cory Booker's still speaking. Like, I thought he was done. I guess he's getting people to come and give him little breaks. Cory Booker is still speaking. Shout out to Cory Booker.
Shout out to him. But I also saw a video of, like, I think it was Trick going off on the situation. This idea.
Wait. Going off on Trump or?
No.
What situation?
About trans people.
Okay. Hating on them.
Hating on trans people.
Okay, got you.
I also want to point out that trans people are not a threat to anyone.
Yeah, can I say something? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When we think about the history of this country and the indigenous people having, a third gender and like the free spirit, we have always had a documentation of trans folks within the physical borders of the United States of America. Being trans is simply one living out their First Amendment rights and protections. When we talk about gender affirming care, people get nose jobs at 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yep.
People get breast implants at 17, 18 years old.
Right.
Y'all are over here getting jaw lines, pectorals put on, leg strengthening surgery.
By y'all, you
hair,
bet nobody at this table, but other people. But go ahead.
Hair plugs.
Yes.
All type. People modify their bodies all of the time. It is nothing new. Where we start from circumcising boys a few days after they are born till the time people pass away, people modify their bodies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has orange makeup on every fucking time he speaks.
The fact that
I'm sorry.
modify their body simply possibly because they have gender dysphoria or they want to look more feminine or masculine is not a big deal.
It's not.
It does not impact anyone.
Absolutely.
When we talk about sports, people get hurt in sports all of the time. People, whether you're boxing, whether you're fighting, whether you're tackling, people get hurt in sports all the time. On top of that, there are numerous co-ed leagues now, whether it's, hockey, you have girls playing sports with men in hockey and football, all type of stuff. So this idea that biological women are under attack or under threat because of trans athletes, it makes no sense. It's like less than 3% of all athletes are trans. People have, with the way the Lord made them, as all y'all like to say, people have higher testosterone. People have genetic mutations that allow them to breathe deeper, that allow them to move faster. Some people are naturally taller. People have more muscle mass. This idea that trans people are somehow this threat makes absolutely no sense. And the fact that millions of dollars are being poured into our communities to sit there and say trans people are a threat is absolutely asinine.
Right.
When you go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom, you do your number one or number two, and you wash your hands. Hopefully, most of you don't, because you're nasty, and you go about your day.
Yep.
This idea that we're having full on a breakdown of our government simply because people want to exercise their First Amendment right makes no sense. When I was younger, everybody played the sports. Everybody was like playing kickball and dodgeball and volleyball together. It was not a big deal, right?
Yeah,
and even
gym class,
you
yeah.
know, whatever, you know, gym class, when people are working out together, it is not a big deal. But somehow we have this idea that we now need to put regulations in place when the reason we have this trans panic is because in the late 80s, early 90s, the focus on the family and the family matters, and the Republicans put in all this gender and sex-based programming in our schools. That is where this came from. So Republicans created a problem.
Yes.
People moved and changed because of the problem that Republicans created. And now over 20 years later, they're trying to say that there is now another problem. People are playing y'all for a fool. Let people do with their bodies what they want to do with their bodies. People become cats. People become snakes. People tattoo their eyes.
Really?
Sure.
People cut their tongue. People, you know, modify their body. Indigenous cultures have modified their bodies all over the planet. It's not that big of a deal. Move on. If you don't like trans people, don't be trans. Live your life and have a day.
I don't get, and the talking point that these people always make is, why do we have to create rules for a group of people that represent less than X amount of population of the world or of the country? If they're such a small individual group, why are you worried about them? Their presence does not impact you at all. Nothing about them
Particularly
inconveniences your quality of life in any way, shape, or form.
Particularly if you're some like alpha male.
Yeah, why are you worried about trans people?
Tough and strong and blah blah. Like, and what if they walk into the bathroom? Your masculinity is going to shatter in the mirror.
Like, I really just don't get that. Like, it's so bewildering to me.
It's crazy. But thank you for bringing it up. We do have breaking news. Breaking news. The U.S. Justice Department is going to seek the death penalty for Luigi in the case of him. Do we think that is going to happen?
They're going to do that, and the way everybody is about to rally around Luigi again. This is one of the things I do not understand is when a story dies down, you got to let the story die down. But every time you bring it back up and have more focus on it, then you get more people to mobilize. If you want people to forget about Luigi, you got to stop bringing him up. But now you mentioned it back again, people go, that's overkill.
Well, it's like you want to punish. You know,
there's
it's
a possibility he's not even the guy. Like, I mean, he has been convicted, but there is this whole theory that he may not even be the guy because the way the police mishandled the evidence. Right. This may just be a man who was in the wrong place at the wrong time and is like eating off of this celebrity and this fame. No one knows, right? Yeah. But the idea that you're trying to politicize something instead of passing legislation that addresses the concerns of healthcare in this country is once again a misstep with this administration.
Yeah, I mean, and they're not going to do that. I mean, because again, it seems like if there's one thing that's clear about this administration, it seems like they don't give a fuck about whether you got good food to eat, whether you got health care. They don't care if you got Social Security, Medicare. They do not care. Like, if you're a billionaire, we got you. You know what I'm saying? If you are not a billionaire, they don't care about you. You're just a useful idiot to wear all your Trump stuff and go out there and do all this shit. And again, it's going to be fascinating to see how, like, does that even last into this year? If these tariffs do to the economy what people say they're going to do, like, how long are people going to take this, like, brief, whatever they called it, like, it's going to be a little hiccup. Like, how long are people able to hold on for that? The thing about it is when you fire those 10,000, 20,000, hundreds of thousands of people, they go back into an already competitive workforce. So then you make it even more difficult to get a job, a good paying job. This thing is, hey. So this is why our white pages today, just in time, traveling black. Yeah. Let's get the hell up out of here.
Come on, man.
Get your passports together. A Story of Race and Resistance. This is a book by Mia Bay. This extraordinary book is a powerful addition to the history of tribal segregation. Mia Bay shows Black mobility has always been a struggle. That's from Ibram Kendi. Traveling Black, A Story of Race and Resistance. Yeah, we got to start getting our international. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to record This Week in White Supremacy? We did get a really cool...
Mozambique.
I mean, listen, she's single. She's...
Is she?
We could do a third wife. We could do a fourth wife. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, mashallah, miracle in the building. I understand.
Yeah.
I respect people's cultures. I'm very culturally, competent. So like, fly me out.
We got a very cool blackmail. Ramadan Mubarak. Yes, we do. Congratulations on your fasting success. Watching now your recent broadcast. I hope that my feedback in this message will be encouraging to keep doing what you're doing. I think I know that Trouble self-identifies as a teacher, which I love. So Farouk, I see a reverence as you're a reverence as a superpower.
Oh,
and how do you know so many cultural references from coming of age decades clearly before your time? I recognize and appreciate the way Jasiri carries his leadership role in the program, while obviously respected amongst the crew. True energy. Did I say leadership? Oh yeah, miracle. Will not be denied. Smart what? Talented what? Artistic? Hold her own. And she said, I appreciate, or this person, I don't know, Jahan, I appreciate your hair Vogue bravery. All beautiful though. I like it best when I can see your smiling face better. To all, your work to end white supremacy and promote anti-racism is crucial every day. Stay strong. So that was Jahan giving us a blackmail. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
And my friend called.
It's still good.
My friend was like, Eid is Muslim Day of Visibility. They were like, I didn't know these people were Muslim, which is like really, really funny. But yes, I thank you. It was great.
That was great. That was great blackmail.
If you do want to email us or have critique about our show, you can go
keep
to
it to yourself.
You can go to info@onehood. That's the number one OHOOD.org. info@onehood.org. You can also go to onehood.org, the number one, and get your One Hood merchandise. We got new colors, a bunch of merchandise. Get yours now. With that being said, anything coming up, or
for Christ's sakes, keeps JD away from the couches.
Wow.
Big cuck energy. It's crazy. Miracle, you have any last one?
Cuck the couch. It's crazy.
If you're in Pittsburgh, we have an election on May 20th. You have until May 5th to register to vote. If you're also in Pittsburgh, this Thursday, we'll be rallying downtown to advocate for trans health care. I will be one of the speakers. I'm speaking a lot this week. Also, this Saturday, if you're in Pittsburgh, I will be speaking at the Housing Justice Summit from 10 to 11:15, talking about how artists can use art to raise awareness about housing and housing instability. We'll post like all these flyers, so please make sure you come out, you join us. A lot of things happening here in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. Trouble?
This is a message to Black conservatives who like to say bullshit online and then punctuate it with go read a book or something.
Come on.
I think you should watch this show, but not only watch this show, pay attention to the book recommendations that we give, because I guarantee you're not reading these books.
Yes.
Don't know what you're reading.
Some
but
bullshit.
I think you should check these books
Mein Kampf.
and then tell facts. And then tell us what you think after reading these books.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think they're reading books, but go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, man. Let's just go home.
Yeah, just go home. With that being said, we will see y'all next week. This Week in White Supremacy. Peace, y'all. One Hood.